The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
On this episode of Nude Clan, we're gonna find those fucking whales.
Shall we play a game?
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the nuclear.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan. I am Joe,
I'm Caleb.
I'm A4.
and today we are going to be reviewing Far Cry, the film, a 2008 English language German action film loosely adapted from the video game of the same name, directed by
Filmed in Canada.
directed by Uwe Boll, and stars Till
Schweiger.
Schweiger.
Till Schweiger.
So yeah, we watched it.
Tillmine Fields.
Schweiss and I watched it this morning. Schweiss got 1 hour of sleep. He went to work, got 1 hour of sleep, said, "Come here at 10 a.m., boys," and I came.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then I watched the
It
movie.
had been a while.
And
Was the 1 hour of sleep during the movie? Because if
no,
not, he's
he
a trooper.
managed to stay awake.
Yeah, this time I was awake.
I'm
I'm getting fucked up now, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Schweiss is fading. I could see it in the last episode. I'm like, these things are usually a little bit more high energy, but Schweiss is dying here.
Yeah.
And
I
then
watched it last
Zach's
night,
Not here. So it's like,
I watched it last night, thankfully, because Schweiss was like, "Do we send you Far Cry?" And I'm like, "Nah, you guys sent me Death Stranding and Devil May Cry 5." And he's like, "No, the movie." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I forgot that was a thing."
I feel like we
but
bought a
yeah,
copy
thankfully
of
it was on
for
Amazon
him,
Prime,
didn't we?
so
Or
it
was
wasn't
it
a
one of the
problem.
others?
I thought we talked about buying a copy. I don't know if that ever happened.
I guess it's
Wasn't it like
fine.
super hard to find?
I think it was. One of them was super hard to find, and we needed to buy you a copy. But there's also YouTube pirations.
They're not called pirates. They're called pirates.
Yeah, pirates. Pirates are the people in the water. Pirates are like stolen things online.
I do the same thing. I call it like pirating. I don't know why I do
Pirate.
that.
We're gonna go.
Well, I mean, you
pirating.
also say theater, so
Get the fuck out of here with that shit, you motherfucker. Is that a
What?
reference? Did I talk about that on this show?
no. I'm just saying, if you're talking about weird pronunciations, you say theater.
You fuckers. No, theater is a perfectly acceptable way of saying theater, which I can't.
But
it
not a
feels
movie theater.
weird to say that.
Movie theater is theater. Theater is like play.
No, I still say movie theater.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Joe saying like
Okay.
Joe
No, I had
bashing
a
on the way.
fucking fight with a roommate about this shit with the fucking
Joe
theater thing.
Joe bashing the people who say theater. It reminds me of like it's
Theater.
Wingardium Leviosa,
Not
not
Leviosa.
Leviosa. Yeah,
No.
you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
We actually looked this up when I had this fight with my roommate where he's like, "It's theater," and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here with it." I can't even say it, dude. Like it comes out of my
Theater?
theater. And now when you say it that way, also it sounds like an ugly word. Like I fucking hate it.
I
Theater.
say movie.
It's kind of
theater.
like how there's like people
Sure.
from like the Philly area who pronounce it wooder instead of water. So
I know,
yeah,
here's the deal.
I know the feeling.
That's the southern pronunciation of theater, by the way. I found that out. So it's actually really common. It's in the South that it's said that
So
way.
I still have that part of the South in me.
So-
Theater, movie theater.
That's weird because I was born in the North and I've never said
No,
theater.
no, the way I say it is the Southern version.
Oh, theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
Theater.
Theater.
no, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Theater.
Theater. He theater real
But
good.
no, it's
Why
totally,
me and my Bella going down
No,
to the
it's-
theater?
it's-
They're gonna stone a black man
it's
to death.
way more common than you think it is. That's all I'm saying. All right, go fuck yourselves and you're fine. I can't say it that way. That's one of those like hangups I have. I don't have a solid accent. It's a mixed one. So that's one of the Southern things.
Got
that's
one of
dropped in
them mixed accent boys in this podcast.
my dad's from the South.
Goddamn quadroon in here.
My dad's from the South. My mother is from Montana.
That's the
And-
South up north.
And then we're here in Utah where here's the Utah accent, and I heard it the other day on a podcast. He had someone from Idaho, and I was like, there it is again. Here's Utah accent is like it's a Western accent, so it'll kind of gel with Colorado, California, all that. However, there are just some words like treasure, measure, and pleasure, in which the native Utahn will say treasure, measure, pleasure. They don't say Escalante. They say Escalante, which drives me up a fucking wall.
I do Escalante as a joke.
Escalante.
Escalante.
There's a town called Escalante, which is
Okay,
of course
I was
named
like, what
after
the fuck you talking about?
named after an explorer named Escalante, Spanish, and they just go Escalante, and I'm like, get the gross.
I've never heard that
And I have. It's from the people down
because
near
I've never
there.
been there.
Yeah,
I guess that's-
I'm living not that far from there.
what
so
about
it's like-
Sigurd? That's a sweet name.
and then there's Hurricane.
Hurricane.
They call the town Hurricane,
Hurricane.
and Crick instead of Creek.
Yeah.
Rough instead of Roof.
But they do say preek instead of prick. So that's kind of weird. Can't make up their fucking minds.
You're a real freak, you know
Anyway,
that.
Goddamn preek. Cut me off.
anyway, look, man,
Goddamn freak up on the
I'm
roof.
not saying it wrong. I just have a different accent with that word. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Oh, so I don't have the
It's
southern
different.
thing.
They also, by the way, say triantula instead of tarantula. You fucking idiots. If it was a triantula, it would have 3 legs.
That'd be scary
Well,
as
since
fuck.
I'm never gonna get another opportunity to do this, I just want to say the joke that I was gonna say if I ever reviewed Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy with you guys. It's like, or as Joe calls it, Theater Rhythm Final
Theater
Fantasy.
rhythm. I do call it theater rhythm.
I call
I
it theater
know.
rhythm too. That's the one I change it for.
Theater rhythm.
Because theater rhythm sounds stupid.
It's just like too like it just sounds
Theater.
gross to me. Like you're not enunciating the vowels and the consonants.
Yeah.
It is not a
It's like
one.
a
it is not a real word.
It's like it's
not a
coming
real
out of your
word,
ass.
so of course it doesn't
Yeah.
roll out of your fucking tongue. So
Theater rhythm.
It sounds like it's rolling out of your asshole, kind of theater. It's just like, like you're just kind of shutting down, like you're falling asleep at the end of this.
because it's like there's too many like weird sounds in both the word theater and rhythm. So it's
Yeah.
like yeah,
Theater
a
rhythm.
lot of low grumbly kind of like
Theater.
slurry sounds.
Theater.
back of the throat kind of bullshit. Theater.
Yeah, I don't gargle. It's, no.
I don't gargle. I swallow.
Yeah.
I swallow like I'm thirsting to death. Thirsting to death down here in Thistle.
Well, Schweiss, I got that water for you.
Yeah, you do.
That wooder.
Speaking of
Water.
accents,
Yeah.
Far Cry.
Till
Cry the movie.
A movie full of them.
No, it's really just full of 2. You got
No,
an-
Till Schweiger has the German accent.
you got an American accent, and then you got half the cast that's German accents everywhere,
Yeah.
with no explanation as to why the fuck there's so many German people here.
yeah, other
Well, I
than
mean-
science and evil.
Well,
Yeah, I
and then other
assumed-
than
I
other than
assumed there
it's-
was a Nazi angle, and by the way, spoilers: no one mentions a Nazi ever.
Yeah, no.
Ever in this
No, I
movie.
mean, there is a reason that it's mostly German people. It's because it's made by a German guy, the movie. But I
Yeah.
mean,
That
there's no plot reason for it.
That
For some
hasn't
reason,
been
they
the
point
case
out
for-
that they point out that Jack Carver's German. You know, because Jack Carver, real German name. But
yeah. Jack. yeah.
because I never played Far Cry, the first
Special
one. But
Forces.
that's
You
the
know
name
those
of the
German
guy,
Special
right?
Forces.
I'm pretty sure it's the name of the guy.
Because like he's got like the Hawaiian shirt on in the beginning, and I'm pretty sure the dude from the first game has a red Hawaiian shirt like that.
Yeah. The first game is actually, it's funny because that was one of the games that me and one of my buddies, Christian, were playing at the same time. And we were both kind of like mocking it pretty relentlessly because it was kind of like cheesy. And then it was one of those things where like slowly over time, we just kind of like stopped mocking it. And I was like, it's actually pretty good. It's weird though because it's just a straight up first person shooter. But the
Yeah.
monsters, they're more like the Resident Evil like hunters. They're like weird amphibious creatures from what I remember that hunt you
Right.
and kill you and rip you apart. So that was weird that they made them people.
I was surprised there was no woolly mammoths.
Yeah, not
So
the
the-
best.
the
Far
No
super-
Cry.
saber-toothed tigers. There's no weird acid
That's a
trips.
spin-off. That doesn't fucking count.
That's the
It's
only
like
Far
saying,
Cry
man,
game
it's
I
weird
played.
that this movie doesn't have any of the 80s shit from Blood Dragon. It's like, yeah, of course it doesn't.
Yeah,
I lost your reference entirely.
it's a
There was a spin-off for Far Cry 3 called Blood Dragon, and it's like super 80s themed.
Okay.
yeah, it's like
Interesting.
Tron.
That's the only one I've actually played.
Far Cry Primal is pretty great.
I keep on finding Far Cry 5 in the store for like no money. Was that like a bad one? Because I remember Far
No,
Cry
it's just
4
it's just
coming out,
older
and it
now.
was a
Like
big deal.
it's a few years old, but it was supposed to be good.
They
I
lose their
remember people
value
liked
like
it.
sports games because there's so many of them.
Oh,
I have
really?
5.
Yeah.
I own it if you.
Oh,
wanna
okay.
play it.
No, I just always see it at Walmart. I'm like, I loved Primal. Like, I loved it. That's one of my favorite games. And it's just like,
Yeah,
I'm seeing Far Cry 5 everywhere. I'm like, I never actually tried the modern Far Cry. There was kind of like a sheen of awesomeness with the it being like an Ice
prehistoric.
Age thing.
Yeah, that was sweet.
But
Especially that Ice Age wall hook thing. That was pretty sick.
yeah, you know, one of those.
Yeah.
Or those like those mountain alligators. They
Yeah,
have
yeah. Got them mountain gators up there in that
mountain gators.
northern South Montana.
you know.
Everything's fucked up over
Oh my
there.
god. Anyway, yeah. How does this compare? I guess before we like review the movie, like how does this compare to the game? The original Far Cry. Apparently, they had started making this movie before that game came out. By the way,
Oh, really?
yeah. So he
Oh,
got the
okay.
rights to it, and then he made a movie basically at the same time they were making the game.
Oh, it kind of compares okay. I mean, it's just like, from what I remember, it's just like a science experiment place that you kind of invade. I think you play a much more active role in like shutting it down, but I don't really remember the story that well. It was a fun first-person shooter, though. I actually enjoyed it by the end. It had some cool mechanics.
I mean, I think from what I know of the original Far Cry, I don't think the story is what people come away from it about. Like, as far as I know, like Far Cry was supposed to be like a graphic showcase when it came out, because I think the same studio went on to make Crysis, and that was like the big your PC will never be able to run this
Yeah, I
game for a
remember
long time.
Crysis coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good though. I liked Far Cry, the first game. I thought it was a fun first-person shooter. The coolest thing about it though was like the death animations. So
Mm.
like on my Steam, if you look at my pictures that I've taken in game, there's a bunch of like crazy poses that people will die in, and so that's the thing I remember the most about Far Cry 1. It's just people like dying mid-step. Their body just like stays up, like their legs kind of like they don't have very much flexibility in their legs, so they kind of just die standing like mid-step and just kind of like their upper body's slouching, but their legs are fucking rigor mortis immediately.
Yeah, you're right. The game was apparently born out of a tech demo called X Isle, Dinosaur Island, made by Crytek to showcase the capabilities of the NVIDIA GeForce 3. Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's kind of how it is. Yeah, that honestly, they could have replaced those with dinosaurs, and it probably would have been cooler.
It
Honestly.
got some pretty good reviews though. It's averaging
There,
like 89 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like it was a good.
As for like
FPS.
the super soldier bit that's in this movie, I think like there was a console port called Far Cry Instinct where like you play as a guy who like has been partially transformed into like a beast, like
Yeah.
super soldier type thing.
So-
So
Bullets don't hurt, but you can be stabbed with a needle
and subdued,
and subdued.
and
just fine.
and a wood saw
Yeah.
will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, so you got to
all
be
day.
careful in that game.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you get
These
shot in
super
the
soldiers are
eyeball.
super fucking powerful, except if you're going up against one guy with a shotgun, you're SOL, I guess.
Yeah, those bullets will hurt a lot, and then he will.
I mean,
shoot you in the eye.
because I forgot until we're getting way too late into the movie, but like when he kills the one super soldier, I was like, how does he take that thing down so easily with just a shotgun? But then I remembered he shot him in the face, and way earlier in the movie, and they say it like right after that when he's talking to the army guy, he's like, don't aim for the eyes or the mouth. I guess like, oh, we have these super. He said we have these super soldiers, but we had to give them a weak point.
Well, yeah, they had to see and they had to eat, bro.
Yeah.
They
He
didn't
could've-
have to eat.
He could have also
He
been like,
specifically said they didn't have to eat.
also don't hit him in the asshole.
Yeah.
It's another orifice that'll fuck him up. Ear too, by the way. I know you're not facing that way, but don't try any shit with me. This cost a lot
Yeah, exactly.
of your money.
Any sort of proby area that you'd think about putting your penis in,
Yeah,
you
ears
can't.
especially.
But I mean,
Especially the ears.
They do need to see apparently because according to the beginning of the movie, these things see with like computer scan lines.
Yeah. Shitty
when he's
old
attacking
computers.
when he's attacking the group of
Oh my God.
soldiers that can't leave because there's quote an immobilizer put on their car.
Yeah, those
under the-
goddamn
under the hood.
immobilizers. Yeah, they were even worse than the ankle bracelets. I swear to
It's just the
God.
thing with a red light on their engine, and it's like, I guess we're not leaving, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure, that's how that works.
Okay, you ready for this? This is the IMDb log line here. An ex-special forces soldier turned boatman is hired by a journalist to investigate a top-secret military base on a nearby island. He's not hired to investigate that, by the way. She is being dropped off, and he's supposed to be waiting there, and she has to go investigate.
Yeah.
But then he gets involved when they blow up his fucking boat.
Yeah, when they got the
Yeah.
cruise missile RPG of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
insanity.
So-
Like,
Evil German scientist, but don't worry, he's not a Nazi.
yeah.
He's been hired or contracted out by the government to create super soldiers, and he does, but they don't obey him unless I guess he puts like a computer chip in the brain, which I totally missed that.
Yeah, it was like, you know how when you're inside your computer and you have those like weird like white like cords, they're
Splotches of weird goo everywhere.
No. It's like a white, the little white cord things where it's a little white plastic film that's kind of like webbed.
No, I know what you're talking about because when they're operating on the journalist's like uncle or
Uncle,
whoever the
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, he was the
And
one.
they
he was
just
the
have like a
probe.
ribbon cable going into the back of his head
Yeah,
and the
that's-
incision, and I'm like, because that's how that works.
That's what I was looking for. Ribbon
Yeah.
cable. Like they just plug that shit right in.
Yeah. Yeah, and so these things they will just kill anything that's around them. And he's like, well, they're still useful, you see. They will kill anything in sight, so you could still use them for the military. And he's like, find a way to control them or else. And so, like, they find this other guy snooping around. And so they make him into one of the super soldiers, but one that's, like, more docile, I guess, through the surgery.
because they do it because he's trying to leak the secrets of it to
Yeah.
his like niece or cousin or whoever who is the journalist, the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Who's trying to break the story.
So anyway, that's pretty much the plot of the movie. They go in there, they try to bust out the guy, but of course he dies, and there's the whole
They pick up some dead weight along the way, quite literally.
They gotta go and kind of get rid of. They gotta stop the German guy from going and having his secrets out.
Finishing his painting.
Yeah. And of course the painting. One of the twists of the movie is that the painting is actually all the instructions that he has, and that's his way of like taking care of it. So he could sell this technology off to another bidder, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay.
That's,
so
that's the plot.
No, because like near the end of the movie when he's like frantically painting over the thing and it's like the genome code for the super soldier shit, and it's like, okay, but that looks printed. Are you telling me that he was this whole time he was just painting his fucking instructions for the genetic code
I
on
think it's
canvas?
I think it's when the journalist came there. That's when he decided to do that. That's how.
No, I
he
know,
would-
but like
he would
Okay,
get away
so
with
it looks it looks printed on there. So either he had that genome code printed on canvas for some reason, or he's got exceptionally good wrist control. And then at the end, he's just painting over it with green paint really hard.
Hey,
It's like,
look.
if only this canvas could be like burned or something.
Like, don't overthink this, A4. Okay.
I mean, I feel like I
Okay,
took
look,
away with
there's
it as
suspending disbelief, and then there's like complete batshit weirdo stuff like that makes no sense.
My thought was like, did he really have that put on a canvas?
yeah.
That's what
Instead
I
of
thought. I'm
normal
like, why
paper.
is the genetic code on the canvas?
Yeah, he's like, oh fuck, I have like 10 more canvases back there.
Where's the
Shit.
where's the canvas printer at?
Yeah.
Well, we
This
need to have the doctor look evil, so we shall have him painting while listening to Wagner. It's like,
Johann.
what's he painting? Oh, we never showed that except for, what if the twist in the end of the movie is he is painting the genetic code for the super soldiers? Well, why would he have that on a canvas? Why would he be painting that on a canvas? Shut the fuck up. I am the director.
Why not?
I will box you.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, for some reason when he took it with him after he painted over it, I was like, is he gonna like crack the paint later and like get the code
don't-
back
Yeah, I
out?
think so,
Nothing
yeah.
about that plot point makes any fucking sense
Like,
whatsoever.
why bring it with you if you're gonna paint over it? Like,
They
did you destroy the
they
evidence?
literally, I guarantee they did that because they wanted him to look evil and have him painting,
Yes.
listening to
And
fucking
who the
German
fuck
music,
would
because
have-
that's what
even-
evil guys do.
Even when you come back and like check out the base, who the fuck's gonna look in the painting? Like,
Exactly.
what's under this paint? What's under this weird paint thing that's
No,
here?
yeah, exactly. That's
Like,
why
who the fuck would look?
he knows where the code's at. No one else could possibly find that code except for him.
Yeah, but he took it
And
with him.
He could take it with him anywhere, and it's not going to be like stopped or anything. They're just going to look at it and it's a painting.
And like, oh, some shitty German.
Clearly, the
artist.
logic behind that plot point is too brilliant for people like me and Schweiss to
I
understand.
thought
takes
it
a
was
genius
kind of
like
working
Joe.
now.
I thought it was fine, like that part of it. That him actually printing off the instructions onto canvas, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, like what do they got? The silk screener, Johann in the back
Yeah.
room. Like, oh, Johann, I fucked this one up. I need another silk screen.
Can you take this to the photo center at Walmart for me?
Yeah.
This movie, yeah, one of the things. So the scientist is German, but he's working with the U.S. government. Not his
Operation Paperclip.
not his top soldier, but like the second in command soldier, who is like more buddy with him. She is also German, and the
I
main
thought she was Russian.
and the main no, she's German. I looked her up. And the
Okay.
like the actual person playing the part is German. They never discuss Germany in this entire movie.
You're talking about the
And then
woman that manages to kill more of her own guys than any of the
Yeah.
enemies in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the main character, the special forces soldier helping the journalist is also German. They're
German Special Forces.
all
yes.
speaking in English, with heavy accents all throughout. Never once brought up that like how international this movie is. Like nothing. I thought when the movie started, we saw a scientist guy, and I'm like, okay, this is a Nazi. This is a nod to Nazism. Nothing. Absolutely nothing having to do with Germany or Germans or anything.
I don't remember if Uwe Boll's movies are funded by Germany or not, because if they are, then that would explain why they would swerve away from the Nazi angle. But then again, they make like a giant Nazi joke in Postal, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's bizarre. It's super bizarre thing. However, I will say right off the bat, as we go through this movie, kind of like bit by bit, the movie started, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. like immediately, I was like, oh Jesus, that fucking In the Name of the King Dungeon Siege tale
Yeah.
was a masterclass in bad direction, bad cinematography, horrible acting.
Hilarious.
Movie as well. Overly long though.
Oh yeah.
To be honest,
Way too
way
long.
too long. This movie, the opening shot happened. And it was like this crane where it like went down to these soldiers, and I'm like, oh, that was actually like a pretty good shot. Like I started
There's
the
a-
movie and I was like, oh, that was a good shot. Oh, that
The
was
shot
a
at
good
the
angle.
beginning when the shot at the beginning when it shows the soldier that was like halfway pulled through the fucking like chain link fence
Yeah.
was pretty cool because he like pans around and like through the fence to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and then like the POV on the gun, I thought was pretty sweet. I think they
POV
should have
on the
owned the
gun.
guy
They-
from that angle.
They
though.
didn't, utilize that as much as I thought they would. But I was like,
Yeah.
I was watching it and I'm like, oh, Uwe Boll got better as a director before this movie.
Yeah.
I watched it. And I'm like, I didn't. There were some parts where I'm like, oh, they could have done that better. They could have done that a lot better. Like especially the action scenes, but none of it was like top tier terrible.
Right.
And that was like, I don't know if that's a disappointment for me or if it's just like, oh, he actually, I can see like there's some thought in here. Unless he like he hired a professional cinematographer and like that person framed everything. Like that's also a possibility. But like, it's not, even though it's half the budget of Dungeon Siege Tale, it was better directed than usual as far as Uwe Boll stuff.
there were
Like,
a few weird.
there's weird
There were a
shit.
few weird angles,
But it's
like,
not every
when,
fucking moment of the
No.
movie
Yeah.
being horribly made.
The only thing I really took umbrage with was when he's driving the speedboat with the fat guy, and the fat guy falls off the side of the boat,
Yeah, I
and he
saw
like
that.
reaches his arm
Oh, yeah.
over,
Yeah, the
and
12-foot
somehow
arm.
is like, even though he's like on the other side of the boat, he's like his hand is right there to pull the guy up. It's like, how is he reaching his arm like 10 feet to the right?
Yeah, that's a minor quality. But I just
Yeah.
remember in Dungeon Siege Tale, dude, they handed off a sword, and there were like 9 different camera angles.
Yeah.
This like one really simple move for these actors to do. And what I saw in this movie was like wide shot and then singles on the characters as they were talking. Now, the acting sometimes in this movie is atrocious. The writing is terrible, but the normal stock direction of a lot of the scenes, I was like, fine, it works. It's not like shoving it like bad
It's not
direction in
intercutting
my
footage
face.
of Far Cry for the PC
Yeah, it
in
doesn't-
between scenes like
Yes,
House of the Dead did.
Exactly.
Sadly.
Exactly. So you know what? This movie was kind of like, it was a disappointment in that way. Like I was ready for dog shit and I just kind of got normal bad.
Yeah.
And that
Right.
was a disappointment for me. But yeah, we start the movie. Now the POV shots were what I was ready for because I'm like, okay, good shot coming in from a high angle, moving down, showing the soldiers there with some like interesting shots. But then there's the POV of the creature outside through the VHS scan lines. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're back in Uwe Boll territory. But he doesn't go
Yeah.
there too often.
I mean, immediately after you gave him credit for the directing, we got the fucking scene with the chicken and your husband and the whales.
Where's the whales?
Yeah, and then Joe's like, oh, there it is.
This like really awkward like comedic relief scene to introduce the main character.
Oh, it made me laugh right off the fucking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it made me
Yeah.
laugh too. There was one part that actually made me legitimately laugh, and it was when the other comic relief American actors in this, the husband and wife that own the boat charter thing that he works for, and she's like, I gotta wake him up. I'm gonna go get my gun, and the guy just like quietly says some stuff like menopause.
I laughed too.
Yeah.
I laughed too because I was like, wow, what a cheap fucking joke. And then I also laughed at the
It was
joke.
funny though. Like, it was a good little quip.
Menopause. Here's the deal. That fucking couple looking for the whales grates. It grates on your ears. They're like the worst.
Where's the whale?
It's the worst over the top acting ever. The
Dude, it's
worst
like-
Southern accents I've ever heard in a movie ever.
It's like two
it's
aliens
bad.
came down and got jobs in Hollywood, and it's like act like people from Minnesota right now. Like,
Whales?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
You promised us whales. They're like yelling.
well, I didn't
every
even
line.
want to see the whales. It's because you got me that gift for Christmas.
Yeah.
You always do this, Barbara, or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
It was bad. It was real bad. And then apparently our special forces guy is a lazy asshole, which is never brought up again throughout the entire rest of the movie. Because like when the other couple like hired him to be the boat guy, they're like, oh, he's out there fucking hungover and he's fucking in his boat getting a sunburn, sleeping out there
Yeah,
in the
roasting
midday.
alive.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would he be out there sleeping in that? That fucking idiot. And then they wake him up, and by the way, that guy is not lazy the whole rest of the movie. Seems like a normal, like, German special forces guy, you know,
Yeah.
just like totally approachable. And then when, you know, shit goes down, he's reliable. It's like, what was the lazy angle from that? The wife thinks this guy's the fucking laziest piece of shit on the planet. Never brought up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, no, I mean, like he I think it's less lazy and more just like he doesn't want to be bothered.
You think so?
Because he does have the whole thing with the journalist where he's like, I'm just taking you. I'm not going on that island. I'm just taking my boat. I'm taking you here. And I'm taking you back. Like you better be here in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed pretty hard at the cruise missile RPG. So I was like, how's he going to escape this? Because that RPG is going to go and it's going to hit him in like a second. And then the guy shoots the RPG off and it fucking launches into the air and it like,
And it curves down.
yeah, and it curves
Does
down.
a
and
complete
he-
180 and then yeah.
He looks up in the sky and he's like, oh, fuck, I got a cruise missile coming at me. And then he fucking dives out. And I'm like, that is not what an RPG does at all. Like, it just goes. It does a little swirly do, but that's all it does. It's not like a fucking,
Also,
like a
before we get-
javelin missile like, coming in out of like, he's like, oh, shit.
Before we get too far from the whale people, real quick, before we move on the plot,
So the whale people are.
They'll come back.
they want to see whales, and they're like in the middle of a lake, like surrounded by
I
mountains.
think it's the idea is like it's an inlet from the ocean. You know, like they're in Alaska.
Well, they
or
didn't
some
shoot
shit.
it very well to illustrate that. It looked like it was
They're
just some
probably-
lake in the middle of Vancouver.
They probably are.
They almost definitely are in a lake, but don't want to show that that's what they're in.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry
Right.
about it. Don't worry about it.
You know, because all those oceans that are right next to dense forested mountains
that exists.
with zero shoreline.
That's like northern,
exists. Yeah. That's why I said
northwestern
Alaska.
Utah.
Yeah.
Or the northwestern
Alaska,
section
Oregon.
of the
I mean,
United
that would
States.
make sense
Northern
considering they
California.
filmed this in Vancouver, but
Yeah.
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 That's how it is. It's just like it's not pretty. It's like rocky.
is Vancouver
as
known
fuck.
for its whale watching? Like,
yes. No, I don't know.
I have no idea.
They're not known for anything. That's why we could speculate to the end of the world and back again, looking for the whales.
No, the whales. Where are the whales?
It was so bad.
Here's what, like,
don't worry,
Yeah.
there's a whale later in the movie.
yeah. So Schweiss is exactly right. As soon as it like hard cuts from the opening scene, which I was like, yeah, it's shitty, but it's not horrible. And then we finally cut to some horrible acting, like
Yeah.
horrible performances, terrible writing.
Awful writing. Yeah.
But then we get like some more quality stuff. Like, first off, the lead actor is actually not bad. He's a German special forces guy. His character makes no sense and he's given shit dialogue, but he's not a bad actor. The
He's
couple,
fine.
that were the ones who own the boat, like own the building, not bad. They were not bad
Yeah,
at
they're fine.
all. The fucking German scientist guy, like the main bad guy in this movie, and I heard the dialogue too. There was like one thing where they were walking down a hallway and he said, I can't remember what the line was, but he basically had to repeat a line within like one page of dialogue scene. He says the exact same thing twice, but he like sells it, dude. This fucking guy outacts everyone in the entire movie.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
he is now among the echelon of actors that can be given dog shit and still put in a good performance. He's up there with Samuel L. Jackson in that you know, that small amount of actors who can be given horrible dialogue and can still pull off something. So I was actually like really like pleasantly surprised at that. The lead like girl, I looked her up. She's like a TV actress. She's in like 2.5 Men and stuff like that.
She was fine.
She's fine. There's some scenes with her that really aren't that great, but she's not the whale couple level of bad,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I was disappointed in another level. Like we don't have any like big time actors giving in like ham-fisted bullshit performances.
Yeah,
It's no Ray Liotta and yeah,
God, he
talking
was,
to fucking
May he
Matthew
rest in
Lillard about
peace,
how they
by the way.
poisoned him.
yeah, he was terrible in that movie, dude. Holy shit. I forgot Ray Liotta was in that. Everybody's
out-
in that
and
movie.
Burt Reynolds
Yeah, yeah.
asleep in the movie. Yeah.
And oh man, fucking
Burt Reynolds wearing a fucking t-shirt.
yeah, yeah, dying in my t-shirt.
There's no fucking dude. So he's now up there, man.
Ron Perlman was rancid in that movie too.
Oh yeah, Ron Perlman was oof. Yikes.
Yeah, not good. Holy
Please
shit.
listen to the in the Name of the King and Dungeon Siege Tale review. That's a funny fucking movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like considering just the the resume of Uwe Boll movies, like this one really surprised me.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't
like
too
wow,
bad.
this is kind
It
of
wasn't
like
it wasn't like laughably terrible. It was just kind of bland.
yeah.
And
there's-
I did laugh pretty hard at one joke too. So there's a scene where they're getting chased and they get wet, or no, they come out of the water. I mean, this happens a bunch of times. It like
Slow down,
something
Barry.
blows up, and they have to swim away, and they had to get searched for.
No, so what happened was they were getting chased in a car.
Oh, yeah,
she
that's right.
takes out a
It's way
gun and
more
goes, "What
ridiculous.
is this?" After taking out hand grenades and going, "What is this?" And then she accidentally shoots a fucking grappling hook from this gun up to a helicopter, which is then carrying them off a cliff. And instead of just opening fire on this burning car that is being dangled in the middle of the air, the evil lady just stands there and just watches it, and then it like falls and crashes the helicopter into the water. But yeah,
I thought that scene was actually like pretty fun.
Yeah,
it was a fun scene, but it was just like, instead of just like they're in a burning car suspended in midair, shoot them, and she's just like watching it, just not doing anything.
she's probably like, "Wow, what the fuck." And then after that, they're getting hypothermia. So there's a scene where our good man Till is like undressing, and
They find a cabin and they go. They find an abandoned cabin, seemingly abandoned, and he just kicks open the fucking door like
Yeah.
he's busting into Osama bin Laden's hiding place. And it's okay. I guess you knew no one was living there because you wouldn't do that. If, whatever. Anyway,
but yeah, he goes in, he like starts undressing, and she starts to get naked. No titties in this movie. Uwe Boll's been light on
None.
the tits lately. Did we have tits in Dungeon Siege?
No, we
Are you-
didn't. We just
No,
thought
there's
we
almost
almost
tits.
got it and then didn't. It was the same situation.
Uwe Boll, you
there's
piece of
there's the
shit.
taste of titty, but it's not. It's like sparkling water. It's like, all right, this kind of tastes like orange.
Yeah, but it
but-
mostly tastes like fucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she starts getting naked, and he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get hypothermia if you don't strip down." So she strips down to her bra and panties.
She's
from,
like, look away, and he just doesn't even.
staring at
He
her. Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah, he
even
doesn't.
try.
Ooh, and he's over in the
And
corner.
she
like,
catches him looking, and then
"Ooh,
she's still like, "You can
ah."
turn back now."
Yeah, that scene was supposed to be like, ooh, didn't you feel the sexual tension the whole time they were on the boat? And
No.
like, no, not at
No.
all.
Yeah.
These two with the fucking chemistry of oil and water. Yeah.
How can I think of sex when we have to think of the whales? So there's that, and then he fucking like gets undressed too, and he's like, "Can I join you in bed?" And she's like, "Okay." And then he goes over, and then he like gives her this story, like, in the army when we were cold like this, we had to get all super close to each other and use
We had to
body
get
heat.
gay.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, ooh, in the army, when we were cold, we stuck our penises in each other's assholes. This will make you very warm. Ooh,
Oh, feels the warmth.
yeah, feels your warmth envelop my cock.
Oh, I want to feel your warmth.
Yeah,
I'm so cold.
yeah,
I'm so cold. I want to feel your warmth.
yeah. So he says that to her, and she's like, okay, fine. And then he fucking like scoots.
spooning. That's what she asked.
Yeah, he spoons her.
Some great dialogue, by the way. Great
Yeah.
writing.
And this part I laughed really hard at. She's like, and we were making jokes like, "Oh, is that your?"
Is that a quarter in your pocket?
Yeah,
That's what-
yeah. That's what Joe's like. Oh, roll of quarters, and then like right after that, she's like, "Is that your gun?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I never go to bed without it." And he fucking reaches down and pulls a gun out, and I like
Yeah,
lost
they play
it.
it completely straight.
I was fucking dying. I was like, "That is hilarious."
And then after that they immediately just start making out. Like,
Yeah.
all right, well,
I mean,
that was quick.
you're hot. I'm German.
Yeah.
We got chemistry.
I
Which
had a
is
boner.
hilarious because then later, because like right after that, they're walking around. He's like, "How would you rate me?" And she's like, "I don't know, a 2 out of 10."
And I didn't know what he was asking, by the way. Like, rate me how? In bed is what I guess we're supposed to assume, but like, is he asking about his looks?
Yeah, the implied sex.
Is
And
he-
then there's this bizarre scene where they get caught by one of the army guys, and like he uses her like slightly undressed to like confuse and like distract him, and then he gets behind them and then like gets him at gunpoint, and he's like, "Start undressing," and then the army guy starts undressing, and then he's like, "No, I was kidding. I was talking to her," and then so he stops. And then he's like, "No, actually, I was kidding. Keep undressing." And it's like, what is this joke? What is this?
She said it was a 2, so I'm trying to like make up for it with some comedy. You know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
joked after that scene he should have asked the black guy as he was tying him up, like, how would you rate me?
How would you
On a
rate
scale of
me?
1 to 10.
There were a few lines that they bring back multiple times in this movie. The one I thought was kind of cute was like when she's talking to him after he drops her off in the boat. She's like, "You better be here when I get back," and he like mocks like, "You made me here when I get back." And then when they infiltrate the army base, he's gonna go do shit, and he's like, "You better be here when I get back." And then she's like, "You better be here when I get back." So I'm like, "All right, that's cute. That's a fun little reverse of that."
Yeah, I think Joe.
And then the other line they keep bringing back is like,
jumping.
"You owe me blank."
I was uncomfortable with him better here when I get back. Because it was like it was echoing the earlier scene where the other guy was like looking at his wife as she walked away when he was like, menopause. It was the same fucking joke where it was like a dude mocking a woman as she walks away.
Yeah,
and I
which
was like, they're both cheap, bad jokes. Like they're not really jokes. And so like the first one like made me laugh. But that one I was like, it made me laugh, but mostly out of like, oh
It didn't make me
God,
laugh.
this
I
is
just thought it was like
uncomfortable.
I thought it was a fun reversal because it was her mocking him.
No, you're talking about later. I'm talking about the first time that joke comes up.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't laugh the first time. I laughed the second time when she did it to him.
I didn't
like,
laugh
without
either
knowing.
time. But the oh shit, what was the thing I was gonna say? No, now I'm
I
starting
don't
to
know.
lose it. Oh yeah, I appreciate Uwe Boll's treatment of women in this movie. I thought it was hilarious. So
When
he's-
the fat guy is like,
keep
"Where's
their
that
clothes on."
broad?"
yeah, stripping down. I mean, we didn't see any body necessarily, but there was that scene where like when they get into the first fight, the first thing that the main guy does is pistol whip the fucking chick. He just like comes up and just fucking nails her in the face with the gun. He's like, "All right, woman's down. Who's next?"
They like show her like turning her head. Like I thought she was gonna catch him, and like catch his arm, but nope, he just completely knocks her out. And it's like, all right, well, there's that problem
Just
solved.
fucks her up.
She's a soldier, man. He's not gonna fucking.
Woman soldier, equal opportunity. Oh, your skull's bashed in. Oh, how did that happen? It's fucking hilarious. And then, oh man, yeah. So as we,
Reminder, it was the second movie in a row I've done on podcast now where a man hits a woman happily. Like,
yeah,
there's a Godzilla Final Wars, which Drew and I watched and did a commentary on, and there's a scene where this guy is about to he's about to punch this like alien woman, and she goes, would you ever really hit a woman? And he stops and he's got the closed fist, and then he smiles and then slowly opens his fist like with an open hand, and then he hits her. That's in the fucking Godzilla movie, and then we got this one where he just fucking nails. It's like bad movies all have men hitting women happily.
yeah. Yeah, I mean the audience is gleefully enjoying it too. At least in my experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
You might have had a different crowd where you were watching it. But yeah, that was pretty fucking funny to me. But as it advances, like
Joe's crowd when they watch movies where women get hit, they need to have a 10-minute trigger warning intermission.
I'll be honest.
After the woman gets hit, so they can.
I'll be honest.
They can calm down after that.
The woman getting hit didn't even like register until you said something.
yeah, he like hammers her with the gun, like fucks her up.
She's like part of the enemy team. She's one of the soldiers. I don't know why he
Just
would
one of the
treat her
guys.
different.
Yeah. I don't know. He had such animosity towards her.
Well, that again, my only problem with it was like they have like right before he hits her, like he's sneaking up on her, and she looks like she's starting to turn around. So I thought, oh, she's gonna be like the elite soldier who manages to catch him sneaking up on her and not get knocked out.
No,
And then it
that's-
just didn't happen. I'm like, all right, well, that was kind of
Yeah,
funny.
different movie cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah, so throughout the movie, they're basically testing these new creatures that they've created on the soldiers of this other guy who is buddies
Yeah,
with
apparently-
the one guy
apparently-
who's buddies with your guy, the big guy.
Apparently, being turned into a super soldier means your skin turns gray unless you're black, and your eyes turn completely black.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought too. I'm like, are they gonna put like some chalk on this guy or something to make him a little like pasty looking? But they don't.
Like, yeah, he's just black.
It's just like the white guys turn gray and then the black guy just is still black. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
One of the guys, Joe mentioned, like he looked way too friendly to be like a bad guy.
Yeah, the main like super soldier guy, he kind of has like too like meek and friendly of a face. Like he's got like these like little eyes, and he's just like, you know, kind of got a nerdy face. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It just kind of looked like a nerdy face to me.
Yeah, and the joke that we kept making was like tech support. I think
He's
that's what
like a
Joe
fucking
said.
IT guy.
Yeah.
It's been covered in gray. It just didn't look the part for me.
Yeah, and then when he died, I said like IT help desk has left the chat. But yeah, he was just kind of funny. It's just like he looks like he's just like, oh hi, how's it going?
He also
I
like
want to
doesn't.
fuck your shit up.
He doesn't like put on a mean face. He just kind of has like a neutral half smile
Yeah, yeah.
the whole time, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Am I supposed to be scared of this guy?
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, the first scene where they, and I can't remember if this was in the prologue or when they actually did this, but the German guy is showing it off to the general. He comes in and he has him like shoot the guy. And of course, like there's just the bad makeup of the gray thing, and the guy shoots him a few times, and all it does is like give him like little like bruises or something like that. Which, by the way, we have a scene later, of course, where like he's got a shotgun and he's hitting one of those super soldier guy, and it's like blasting him back. Like this thing though, like for whatever reason, this super soldier doesn't feel anything. The other one feels stuff, even though he's
Yeah.
bulletproof. It's like getting a welt from a paintball gun. Like it still hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to break the skin, but god damn, ow,
Yeah.
ow. None of that. And also, by the way, after he shoots the guy and the bullet bounces off of his skin, the guy, like, gets mad and he rips off, like, one of his cuffs that's keeping him to the chair, and then he has to be subdued, and his bulletproof fucking Kevlar skin easily punctured by a needle to sedate him.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
a tranquilizer.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So like, just get some armor piercing rounds, and you will just shred these fucking guys to pieces.
Armor-piercing needles. is
Yeah.
what they had.
Yeah, they got those diamond tip needles.
Yeah, what are those diamond tip needles? Oh, the diamond cutting blades later on too.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the guys is chasing the main dude through like a lumber mill,
Oh,
and he fucking
that
like,
is actually a great kill, but it doesn't make sense.
yeah, he like
It's a great kill.
hides, he like squeezes himself in this one area, and then he like cuts the laser beam to this little saw, and it just saws this guy in half like viciously.
Because he's like chasing him through there, but like only his legs are first for some reason. And then like as his legs are there, that's when the saw comes down and it just has the legs like going ape shit.
Was that the tech guy?
That's cut in half.
No, the tech guy got shot in
No,
the eye.
tech
huh?
guy got shot in the eye.
He got like fucking sniped in the eyeball by the one chick.
Yeah.
So they got a great scene there. Another great scene was oh man, when the one fucking like soldier that's the chick's uncle like picks up a fucking board, like a 2x4, and he chucks that fucker and just owns this guy like hard. He just randomly picks it up. I'm like, oh, is he gonna beat somebody with this? No, he fucking like 300 spear throws it at this guy and just fucking
Right in the
wrecks
face.
him.
Well, it's funny that you say 300. You can tell this movie was made like right after 300 because when the
yeah,
super
it
soldiers
was.
get out and they start owning all the army dudes, you have like the stereotypical Zack Snyder like slow mo and then speed up shit going
Yeah,
on.
there's some cranking camera too. They
Yeah.
definitely like sped up some stuff and then slowed some stuff way down.
Yeah.
By the way, as far as Uwe Boll action is concerned, having seen now 2 movies with like just a bunch of flippity flips and fucking
Spinneroos.
spinneroos, you know, like we're actually getting some like choreography in the fighting. It's still like shitty chopped together stuff, but like they put some thought into it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely felt like 300 when he grabbed the little 2x4, and then it was like his shield would weigh him onto the right side, causing the throw to be off.
But with like the
His
hook,
cape.
the hook in the helicopter, the throwing of the fucking 2x4, those were all like a little bit like Robert Rodriguez reminiscent.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, like
so
just
Yeah.
goofy.
I felt like it was like, oh, we're getting a little knockoff Robert Rodriguez action going on here. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
When I took one of my piss breaks, that's what I was thinking. I was Machete when
Yeah,
right
of
after
course.
one of those scenes.
There's no
not
intestines
forget,
in the fan or anything. but-
Let's not forget the greatest fighter in the movie. At some point, Till Schweiger is sneaking in and trying to steal a boat, and we are introduced to the comic relief. Finally, we get the whale. We get to see the whale. We get the fat comic relief guy
Yeah.
who he
Who's
has
the
a name, but
whale?
he keeps calling himself the food guy. So that's how I remember him.
He's the food
I don't remember what his
guy.
actual name is. And then
who also
gets
went
on the
to
boat
dance
and
camp.
yeah, well, and
Got
this
the
is like
body
the
for
fat
it.
comic relief guy that fucking Uwe Boll always uses. I think he's also in Blood Rain 2 and Postal.
Yeah.
He just
And he
heard
gets
this
on the boat and
episode
he's just like
he's not happy with
he
you.
he leans into eating that fucking sandwich like he's eating ass passionately. Like he's just going to town, and then he gets roped in with the main guy, and they basically become like the comedy buddy fighting duo. But like this dude just never shuts the fuck up. It's just
No.
wall to wall like improv that this guy probably thought was really fucking funny in the
Well,
moment.
it's not that improv couldn't have worked, but they edited it all in. Like they kept all of it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
kept every single moment.
Not a single take was wasted.
not a single take was wasted. It did remind me of an actor being uncomfortable making up lines and like just reaching
Because like there'll be a fight scene,
Ugh.
and he'll just be in the background going like, "Whoa, whoa," like Chris Farley in like any movie, like just like
it was uncomfortable. It was not funny.
and
It
he
was
stays
painful.
the fuck in this movie for like the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
rest
they're
of the
like,
movie.
I loves this character. We keep him in every scene.
Yeah.
Now
Think-
he's stuck to him. He's stuck to him with the handcuffs and
Yeah. We must see him for
Oh, and there's that
Sylvains.
fucking
Sylvain man.
there's that bit where he like, and they foreshadow it earlier when he gets the girl out of the handcuffs when they're in the car, but he's like, I have a handcuff key. I never leave home without it. It's like, how does that work? He just has a handcuff key that gets like that unlocks every pair of handcuffs ever made.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
obviously.
There was no setup of him like when he was getting handcuffed, like with his teeth, like grabbing the fucking guy's key. None of that.
yeah.
Rough comic relief. I will say the boat chase, by the way, not a bad boat chase.
Oh, the chick
No, it was
handed him
fine.
the key
Yeah.
when she kissed him. She had it in her mouth.
Oh, is that okay? Was I
Yeah.
in the bathroom during that scene?
I don't know.
I might have
It
been.
was kind of weird how they did it because she was just like, and then she
I
like
don't
gave him
remember
a key.
that.
The kind of kiss you would give if you're trying to hand someone a key.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, here you go. It's like she's sticking her tongue up his
Universal
ass.
handcuff key. I always keep it in my mouth just in case I need to
Yeah.
French kiss it into someone's mouth.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that scene, so I must have been in the bathroom. There was like a 5-minute section of the movie.
Yeah,
where-
it's like she had her tongue like, kind of like curled in half, like she's about to stick it up his ass, but she's got like the key in there. He's just like, oh God, we're not Frenching yet.
But they, so even though they get away
Nasty.
in the boat chase, the fat guy and the main guy get captured by the scientist, and then also the female journalist gets captured by him. But she's kept up in like his office, and he says this thing because like he knows that she's the niece of the guy that he turned into a super soldier, and he's like, "You don't look like your uncle," and it's like, what does that mean? I don't look
No,
like any of
it's-
my uncles.
we're like 1/8 the same genetics or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so that was a weird line, but whatever.
So yeah, and then she's up there with the guy, and we were talking about the painting earlier, and this is where it comes in. This the evil German scientist dude, not a Nazi. The evil German scientist dude just likes to paint, or at least he talks about how he likes to paint, and then he has
Yeah,
her
they never
sitting
show
there.
you the painting until this scene.
They never show you the painting because they gotta have the reveal, bro. They gotta have the reveal that he could have been painting beforehand, but with this one, he's just fucking covering up his like.
The M. Night Shyamalan twist of the
Yeah.
dumbest fucking plot device in this entire movie.
Yeah, did you see Old? Are we talking about Old right now?
I did not. I know what the plot twist is in Old, more or less, but yeah,
Anyway.
I did not see it, but I looked at the plot because I didn't
man.
care.
Oh man. Now I never saw the movie that's supposed to be his worst movie, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I saw that in theaters. That shit sucked.
Okay,
The-
never
the
saw
plot
it.
twist is that it's not based around the TV show at all.
I
Apparently.
never saw it, and here's the deal. I do think Sixth Sense is a masterpiece. I think Unbreakable is a masterpiece. I love Signs. I was okay with The Village and Lady in the Water. I saw The Happening, and I had not seen a Shyamalan movie since because I was like, that was the most disappointing and terrible movie I've seen in the movie theater.
The Happening is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
The bees, they're dying. So I never.
You eye in my lemon drink.
So I
also, I don't know. Like you will only appreciate how bad Avatar: The Last Airbender is if you've like seen the show.
yeah, I've never seen the show, and that's why
The
I
show is
never
really
saw it.
good. The show is legitimately really good.
Yeah,
You should
it's
watch it
pretty
at some
good.
point.
But
That movie is
when I
the
have a
reason that
child.
movie is the worst. I think. No, dude, it's just a good all ages show. It's a perfectly made kids show.
So so that's where I kind of start. That's where, and then the next thing, like there was like this. I have a mastermind chat. It's like a bunch of filmmaking people in a chat, and in Facebook, and they were arguing about whether or not, like, one person thought Old was a fucking masterpiece, and then another person thought Old was like the worst thing they'd ever seen in their lives. So they were having like this conversation in the thing, and I finally gave it a watch, and it was horrible. And
I heard it was kind of divisive. Like I know there are
Yeah.
people who thought it was fine.
There are
Like,
people who love this movie, and I'm like, I can't fathom why people like the movie Old. Like, and here's the deal: I didn't watch Old in the movie theater because when I saw the trailer in the movie theater, I'm like, that looks like garbage. That looks like hot garbage. But I'm like, look, I respect this guy's opinions. I know he's like an M. Night Shyamalan dick sucker. You know who you are if you're listening, by the way.
You little dick sucker, you.
And as much as I love some M. Night Shyamalan movies I've seen, and I haven't seen the more recent ones that are considered good. Like I've never seen Split, and I haven't seen the one or The Visit. The Visit's the other one that was like, you know, lots of people like those two movies.
Did he direct Devil or did he just like produce it?
He did not.
Or were they in
direct
the
it.
elevator?
He did not direct.
Okay.
It.
Because one of my like most distinct movie going memories in recent years was seeing Scott Pilgrim in the theater, and they put on the trailer for Devil, and this was like right after Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, and it says like produced by M. Night Shyamalan, and the theater erupted in laughter when his name came up.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, a little bit. No, actually, you know what? I say you should watch the show before watching The Last Airbender. You should just watch The Last Airbender without knowing the show because it's just a bad movie regardless. I would be genuinely like curious to know your opinion of that movie, not knowing the fucking show at
I'm
all.
not that interested in seeing it, mostly because I was then like off the Shyamalan train at that point. So I want to see the movies that are considered really good, like by a lot of people. But Old was the one where it's like you either love it or you fucking hate it. And
Right.
I did not like that movie. I'll be honest. So that has nothing to do with this. Sorry, we're talking about bad movies. Old is really awful. It really is. It's bad. It's like laughable. Like you're laughing at the movie with how like it's fucking.
Dude, I'm telling you,
ridiculous and
Last
stupid it is.
Airbender. Well, no, because The Happening's the same way, but like Last Airbender is also laughable in its execution.
See, now
It's
I wasn't
God.
laughing at Happening. I was just in pain when I was watching it. I watched it in the movie theater and that was it. I've seen
You
like,
weren't laughing when the kid
I've seen-
knocks on the door and then a shotgun barrel
No,
comes
that-
out and
that
blows him
part
away.
actually-
It's the funniest
that part
fucking thing ever.
That part actually disturbed me. That was like really violent, and on the big screen, I don't think it was that funny of a scene. However,
Alright.
Mark Wahlberg's acting, and I've seen him do very good. By the way, very
Yeah.
good work. It was. Oh, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, oh man, the bees.
Twice, you need to see The Happening.
You gotta
It's fucking...
see these fucking bees. They're dying. And I've seen like chunks of it since, like on TV and shit, and it's still bad. It's like, why is this being played anywhere?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to watch Maximum Overdrive. That's got some.
Yeah,
that one's
I've heard.
hilarious.
God, I need
though.
to see Maximum Overdrive.
It's
Yeah.
fucking funny. Holy shit. I was laughing pretty hard.
Anyway, yeah, Yeah, the guy eating the sandwich like he's about to suck a dick and really enjoy it.
He like
Yeah.
leans into it.
Yeah.
Like
He wants to
Yeah.
feel it hit the back of his throat.
like when I'm eating my wife's ass, that's what I imagine I look like. Like I'm just really putting my all into it.
You don't have to, you know, she doesn't see your face.
No, I mean, Joe, I know you've never loved anyone before, so you wouldn't understand. But
True love.
Fair enough. That must be true love.
how can you say you love her if you won't eat her poop? It's a line from a hentai manga. I'm quoting a famous internet line. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone laughed at that. Don't worry. So they rescue the lady. What even happens? That whole last that whole last action scene was just a giant blur to me.
Yeah, they save her. They're running away.
Like they get the uncle who turned into a super soldier to like break the conditioning, and he starts attacking the other super soldiers.
Yeah, and he gets shot in the eye by the one sniper chick, but then as he's like collapsing towards her, he fucking spins her around and snaps the shit out of her neck. And then
he doesn't drop that immediately. He like kind of stumbles over and kills her.
Yeah, and she's like,
which again, she's supposed to be like this elite soldier, but like she keeps killing all of the men on her side more so than the people she's supposed to be killing.
Well, but
and anytime she could take an opportunity to not.
Guy.
Yeah, they mutiny. The one guy's soldier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
she's
And
got
she fucking rage gores him to like.
Yeah, she takes a
pieces.
fucking knife to him.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
His stomach, and then she opens his neck.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
She actually stabs him in the other side of the neck, and then the blood comes out of the side opposite of which she stabbed him that we saw, in the shot. So that was interesting. Good continuity there.
Yeah. Real Peter Jackson of him.
Yeah. So continuity is for sissies. That's what Peter Jackson says.
Yeah.
And then they eventually just escape on the boat with the food guy.
Yeah, because the food guy I think steals the guy's boat, right?
Yeah, and then he pulls around. Main dude and the journalist get on there, and then
the German
the not Nazi guy ends up like cornered on his own island, getting
not a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely not a Nazi.
to get fucking gang raped by his own creations, I guess.
Yep, and then of course, they have like the little like I'll ever see him again kind of shit at the end, and the couple who are looking for the whales and the sandwich guy are all together. They're all together on the fucking boat.
On his new boat.
Wanting to see a fucking tour of some more whales, and then the guy just turns around and walks away, and that's the end of the movie. And wow.
There was another one that it didn't make me laugh, it just made me puzzled, where like he was walking away and the food guy says to the couple like, he's German, he's emotional. And it's like that dude is like the most stoic guy in this whole fucking movie, except for the super soldiers. He like barely emotes the whole time.
And even the one super soldier was kind of friendly looking. So I mean,
yeah,
he might have had more personality, more outgoingness. Yeah,
it's like
and they have the little like the tease of like the journalist kisses him, and then she's like, "You're still a 2," and he's like, "Would she date me if I was a 2 though?"
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that movie. Not
exists.
Yeah, that movie is way better than the other Uwe Boll movies I've seen.
You should go home and watch Postal.
That's why I'm told that all the time. I was listening to another like a movie podcast, one of the few movie podcasts I listen to, and one of the guys on there is like, I legit think Postal is a great movie.
Yeah.
Or someone else.
I remember liking Postal. I saw it
Boll.
one time in like college, and I remember being like, wow, it's like the one good Uwe Boll movie I've seen. Because it was just like kind of dumb and funny.
So yeah, even though the funny stuff in this movie made me want to die inside.
Yeah.
And the non-funny stuff, like the action stuff, made me laugh. So I think it was like better made than all of his movies I've ever seen. I was really surprised at that. Really surprised by actors' performances. Like 70% of them were decent.
It was passably mediocre.
Yeah.
Like,
And so I would still. This is still a bad movie, but it's not like I hate this or I laugh through the whole movie bad. It's just
Yeah.
bad. Like it's just not good.
yeah, you really got. If you compare it to like Dungeon Siege Tale, it is like night and fucking day.
Yeah, which is surprising.
It's just like this is like a kind of decent, like dumb action movie with like a few baffling things in it. Whereas Dungeon Siege is just like a giant confusing mess from start to finish.
Yeah, what confuses me is that Dungeon Siege, I believe, had a bigger budget. I think it was like 40 or 60 million or something like that. And this had $30 million budget. Schweiss, did you look up the what it made in the movie theater? By
$743,000. $743,634.
Did this come out here though?
Yes.
In theaters?
Yes.
It
Like wide release?
I don't know.
I don't know how wide,
I don't
but
know.
it wasn't
if
wide
it was
enough.
wide release, but it tanked.
Yeah.
Because like the fact that we could barely find a DVD of this fucking thing makes me think that like it might have only been released in like some other country.
No, it was released here.
Well, I don't think it must not have been wide because it only has 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and that makes me think that like they made this movie, and then 20th Century Fox was like, dump it.
Not as wide a release as like Blood Rain or Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing like commercials for Alone in the Dark on like G4 when
I
that movie
remember
was coming
seeing
out.
like 8 copies of it on a wall in Blockbuster. That's what I remember. So like
Did you guys review that one? I can't remember now.
Which one?
Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the Dark.
Yeah,
because
we
that's supposed
did.
to be like one of his worst.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare is one of the worst games I've ever played.
It's based on that game.
Did you get? By the way, real quick, did you see they're
Can't
making a new
imagine it
Alone in
would
the
be
Dark
bad.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna line up not to play that.
Jake was
really?
was naming. He was like doing one of the lines from the newest Alone in the Dark game, and it was pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, the one that's like a TV series, like where he plays the Native American guy. It's like the 2009 one.
Yeah, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
"I am a fucking god. I am a blah blah blah." I can't remember what Jake said the line was, but I was laughing pretty hard. I was like,
There's
"That
another line in
sounds-"
there where he's like, this is like, he's like, fuck your stupid stone and fuck you anyway. I gotta play the 2009 Alone in the Dark. I hear it's like dumb, but like, it's got some like interesting ideas that don't get executed super well.
Yeah, it sounds
It's
like
one. It's in that like PS3 era of like weird janky games that kind of look like they're high production because they have like better graphics than the PS2, but it's just kind of like muddy, washed out, like slurry.
yeah.
So the next video game movie, we didn't do this one. I was thinking of Hitman because we already did that one. Max Payne, the fucking.
Oh my god!
Is that one Mark Wahlberg or is?
That's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it is.
Oh fuck. Max Payne, the next live
Dude,
action
I'm gonna
video
fly,
game
dude,
movie.
I'm gonna fly through the air. I'm gonna shoot my guns in slow
Yeah.
motion. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and by the way, the bees. The bees, they're dying.
Yeah, I have not seen Max Payne, so that'll be interesting.
One of these was impossible to get hold of. It might have been Max Payne.
I also haven't played Max Payne, so that might not be great, but whatever.
No, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
So I
games.
hear. Yeah, I just
Dude.
never played them.
We're not that far from Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Now that I saw in theaters, and actually I remember liking it.
It's a Mike Newell movie. Interesting.
Did Gore Verbinski produce that then? I
I
know it was tied to like pirates. in
Jerry
some way.
Brockheimer produced it. So
Jerry Bruckheimer. Okay, yeah.
He's a
God,
big
the chick in
producer.
that movie is so hot though.
the hog agrees.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the follow, Quantum Blizz.
Gemma Christina Arteron.
Yeah, she's hot.
Okay.
I feel like it's the same chick that was in John Carter, the
Never saw
shitty
that.
John Carter Disney movie.
She plays Strawberry Fields in Quantum of Solace.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she is hot as fuck then.
No, that's
Uh-huh.
not. Is that the same girl?
No, wait, is she the redhead?
No, it's not the same girl.
Which one? Let me see her.
That girl.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
No, you're not thinking of the main. The
The
main
main-
Bond girl is quite attractive.
She's amazing looking in that
also
movie.
like the kind of Bond girl, but not Bond girl, who is Rob's wife in Game of Thrones. Also really attractive, but not. not sexualized in that movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, too bad.
Too bad. But yeah, where do you guys stand on this movie?
I think it's pretty middle ground for Uwe Boll. I laughed pretty hard like 3 times, which
Yeah,
is disappointing. I honestly I was hoping he was painting the painting in fucking House of the
House of the
Dead.
Dead.
Yeah, that they place in place of the chick like bleeding out from her fucking ripped up legs. I was hoping that was going to be the painting, but sadly no. I think it's a pretty middle ground one. I do think you're right. Uwe Boll does actually do an okay job of directing this thing, and a couple of the actors actually give a shit about the fact that they're in a movie.
It's okay. It's
It
not
just kind of
good.
exists. It's
okay.
it's not good, but it's not laughably bad. It's just kind of middle ground, so it's kind of like unremarkable in that sense.
Yeah,
It's like on the level of like one of the Tomb Raider movies. Like it's bad, but I'm not.
Nah, I
I'm
don't,
not
I don't know if I'd go
dying.
that far. Like the Tomb Raider movies are still kind of inherently entertaining.
Tomb Raider
Like,
2.
they feel more like
Okay, yeah,
they feel
it's
more
not
like
that
movies.
entertaining. You're right. You're right. Oh, what the fuck would it be on level with what we've seen though?
Probably Tomb Raider
Double
1.
Dragon. I don't know. Like
Tomb Raider
No,
1.
Double Dragon's a worse movie than this.
Tomb Raider 2 is actually good, and it also had that hilarious scene where she like cuts herself and fucking rides the shark out
Rides
of
the
there.
shark.
would it be
yeah.
more on? Would it be more in line with the new Tomb Raider movie that no one saw?
that's way better.
Yeah, that one's a lot
That's
better.
a way better movie than this.
That one's like top 5 probably.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard anyone talk about it, so I assume it's bad.
What
about the-
I'd put it right about on the quality level of filmmaking about with that that first Resident Evil movie, that Paul W.S. Anderson one.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is a dog shit movie.
Of the
And-
ones we've
and-
seen, I think I'd actually put it with
And this
the,
is dog
that
shit.
new
but
that new Resident
it's
Evil one
coherent.
that just came out.
it's a coherent bad movie.
Oh, I think
Right.
Raccoon City is worse than this.
Raccoon City.
Raccoon City is worse than this. Yeah,
I would
but
call
like,
Raccoon City worse than this. Yeah.
Yeah.
it just
I
kind of
enjoyed
feels.
it,
It kind of
so-
has like that low budget feel that Raccoon City
does,
has. Like
yeah, it kind of does.
Raccoon
yeah.
City just kind of felt like great value Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil. So
Yeah, Raccoon City is one of the worst movies I've seen in the movie
And,
theater.
and Paul W.S. Anderson is like, he's like Paul Newman or Newman's Own, but like the Alfredo sauce, which is foul. It's like he's quality usually. Actually, not really. But
Unless
this
it's
time
Monster
it's
Hunter.
like, and this time it's like not good.
I was just surprised. I was surprised that there were no wacky, crazy camera angles.
yeah,
That like everything, like the action was coherent.
less gun porn this time too.
There's like and it's just
weirdly,
like
considering this is based on a shooter,
Less porn too. What the fuck?
they're not constantly breaking the 180-degree rule in dialogue scenes. Like the night shots or the night scenes are like pretty like well lit in a way that's not like distracting and like I don't yeah it was weird. It was weird seeing this level of mediocrity quality from Uwe Boll. I expect terrible when I watch his movies. I expect trash.
I didn't have as good of a time as I did with In the Name of the King. watching
No,
this.
that's a problem too.
Yeah,
It's like if you're gonna go high quality, like go high quality. Like this is like almost Paul. It's like reaching towards Paul W.S. Anderson level of quality. It's like it's almost there.
yeah.
Like
And
it's
also,
just not enough. Yeah.
also not funny like Paul W.S. Anderson movies.
Paul W.S. Anderson gets better performances out of his actors.
Yeah, he's definitely a better director,
Yeah,
but
he's got this one reaches. This is almost there.
yeah,
Yeah, it just needs like a few less whale and sandwich eaters.
yeah,
It needs to be even more boring to be up on that level.
yeah,
Yeah.
less personality,
Yeah.
annoying personality. That's probably where I'd put it though, somewhere in the middle. It's not too bad.
It's not out of
Yeah.
the bad movies. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but sadly that also means it's not very funny.
Yeah.
Only a
Yeah, like
couple
if you're gonna put
times.
on a bad video game movie to laugh at with your friends, In the Name of the King is like a way better choice.
In the
Yeah.
Name of the King of Dungeon Siege Tale. One of the Mortal Kombats. You can laugh at those.
Yeah, that first.
I still legitimately love the original Mortal Kombat movie.
You are looking through that with 100% nostalgia. That movie is.
I did not see
shit.
that movie for the first time until like 4 or 5 years ago. So no, I'm not.
What?
It's long enough.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, guys.
We cried pretty far.
If you want to support us on Patreon, please do. You can go on Patreon and search Nude Clan, or the description of this episode should have its link. Yeah.
Until next time, live always in the nude.
Walk with your gun held high.
Fuck. Whales! Where are the whales? Where are the whales? Fuck off! Where are whales?
Too bad you are a whale.
What are we gonna whale now? Boom! Fucking whales!